We knew when the Browns traded for Deshaun Watson that it was going to be a complicated situation. It was complicated the day they made the move. It got more complicated with the allegations, with the suspension. Kind of thought we came out the other side of it. And the move that the Browns made, I really think at a point divided the fan base. That has passed. Years have gone by, Ryan Tyler. And we're at a place where we're talking football and we're gearing up for another season. So we find out that this situation of off the field isn't quite done yet. You sit there and you start to wonder. I think I speak for a lot of Browns fans, or at least the mindset that I have. I want to win football games. What guys do outside of football does matter to me. And Watson was very conflicting for me when they traded for him. Kind of got back to football. Now it's something else that might come up. Ryan, I didn't even tell you the hot, bold take that I have on the Browns quarterback situation from an ESPN analyst.
I'm excited.
There's somebody they ran through this morning on ESPN. NFL predictions. And they went through Super Bowls and they went through rising teams and went through shocking trades. And I got one for you with the Cleveland Browns. We got Nick Shook's quarterback rankings on NFL.com. He ranked all 66 starting quarterbacks that played a game this year in the NFL. PJ Walker, Dorian Thompson-Robinson on that list. They're not 66. So there you go on that. That's good news on that. We got All-Star Game weekend. Donovan Mitchell in action. We got our bets with Tipico. We got the Daytona 5. What do you know about Daytona 500? Nothing?
Absolutely nothing.
All right. Duels were last night. Maybe we'll get a little wager on that with Tipico. We got time up. We got the morning update. Oh, boy, do we have a bracket for it. And we got Chico for you this morning. Coming up at 9:30. Locked and loaded on a Friday. Here we are. Right here on Big Play. Welcome to the show, everybody. I am Matt Fontana. He is Ryan Tyler. Happy Friday. Chilly, but the sun is out. What can you do? Ryan, our bracket is very close. Go follow at Matt Fontana Show. The best Seinfeld episode. We're down to the final four.
It's very, very
and
close.
It's very close amongst all four. Remind people of the 4 episodes that are up in our bracket in the finals.
Yeah, so Festivus, Soup Nazi, the contest, and Shrinkage. Shrinkage is kind of out of it, I think.
Well, you say it's shrinking in the, in the moment. There you go. Yeah.
Festivus is 27.1%, but Soup Nazi and the contest both 27.8%.
All right, so they're right there. So vote at Matt Fontana Show. We're having Chico on. Not just I want to talk Cavs All-Star Weekend, Brown Stadium with him. He is the ultimate Seinfeld aficionado. So we got to have Chico on. I want to go back. We're going to go back and which episodes we missed. I want to see how we thought the initial polls played out. So Chico's coming up at 9:30. We got the morning update. We'll jump into timeout. We start Browns this morning, though. And this comes out from Mike Florio yesterday, is that according to Brent Schrotenberger of the USA Today, a motion to compel further testimony from Watson has been filed. In the accompanying paperwork, the plaintiff's attorney said the original deposition ended because Rusty Hardin, Watson's attorney, told him not to answer questions. I'm far from a lawyer. Mike Florio is a lawyer, okay? A former lawyer. And he writes all this up. And I tweeted this out yesterday. This seems to be a procedural move where Watson got, it just brings up all this stuff, man, about depositions and lawyers with middle initials and all that other kind of stuff that I thought we were past. And it sounds like this is something that is just part of the process, and we got to see how it plays out. Florio writes, absent of a settlement or dismissal, the remaining claims against Watson will go to trial at some point. Although he has been suspended 11 games by the NFL for the allegations, the league has not completely ruled out the possibility of further punishment, given the evidence could emerge in the remaining cases and or eventual verdicts. I'm just going to speak as a Browns fan. And I'll tell you, I didn't even know if I wanted to lead the show with it this morning. We got the All-Star Game this weekend. Donovan Mitchell is in there. I want to place my bets on Tipico. I'm ready to go. But, this stuff is important. And whether or not, however you feel about Deshaun Watson, this is stuff that I guess we signed up for. Not us necessarily, but the Cleveland Browns signed up for this. When they traded for Watson, knowing what had happened off the field, this stuff was potentially going to come back up. And I speak as somebody that what he was alleged to do is horrible. I hope he gets to a point that he can take accountability for what was alleged. Now, people come back and say, these are allegations. Nothing was ever proven, right? And innocent until proven guilty. Those are all true statements, right? But I would have to believe when you have as much against you that something bad happened. And I feel like I'm doing the show that I did 2 years ago, Ryan. Just all the stuff come back up. The only thing that I care about is my football team winning. And at the point of I move past kind of what happened with Watson off the field, I'm going to hold out the same thing that I've been doing. I need the Browns to win. And if that's with Deshaun Watson, if that's without Deshaun Watson, I don't know what that world looks like. But I also know that the Browns are in this for the long haul. And they're smart enough to know that when they made these moves, that some of this might resurface. And until all of this is done, which it's not because there's still civil cases out there, this stuff is going to keep coming back up. And we just got to kind of wait to see what happens and push on through. The thing about Watson not getting suspended again, everybody jumps on the double jeopardy thing, right? And everybody says, you can't get... If there's new allegations, if there's something different, then the NFL can suspend him again. And what that looks like... Okay, the NFL, from my understanding, this is just my understanding, is that there was this discovery period. And that's how the legal system works. You have a finite amount of time to discover the things that you are putting him on trial for. And after that, you can't have somebody come back years later and say, okay, well, no, you needed to speak up during the discovery period. So the NFL will not suspend Deshaun Watson for things that we already know about. For the allegations that we already know, for the cases that we already know, he can't get suspended for that stuff again. But the NFL can suspend him if something new comes out. And that is something new related to the allegations, or, and I hope this is not the case, he did something else again. And I doubt that very much, okay? I would assume that he has understood the error of his ways, allegedly, all that other kind of stuff. But Ryan, I sit here and I just go, I bring it up because it is one of the most important things about our football team, is Deshaun Watson. And we talk so much about the play on the field. If he faces yet another suspension, that has to be it. And I'm not saying that he is, and frankly, I don't think he will. I don't think he's going to face another suspension from the NFL. They understood what happened. They handed down the suspension, the fine, all that kind of stuff. Here we sit today. Does he have to button up all the rest of this stuff? Sure. And if it's going to go to trial, if these people really want that, if he's going to try to get them some sort of settlement, I don't know. That's business for him and his lawyers to figure out. But I guess I was being naive, Ryan, to think that, we don't have to deal with this anymore.
Well, Matt, how do you think this plays into the big offseason question that we have of bringing back Joe Flacco? I mean, you got to imagine if another I don't think it will happen, but if another suspension is imminent, it's a possibility. I got to imagine you somewhat kind of put that into your thought process of bringing back Joe Flacco.
That's something that's something the Browns have to think about. And the problem is that they don't have an answer to that today. They don't have an answer to that tomorrow. I'm sure the Browns have spoken to Watson and his lawyers and maybe even spoken to the NFL and said, okay, where do we stand today? Knowing that everything could change tomorrow. Everything could change tomorrow, and he could face another suspension. And, I mean, Ryan, he gets suspended again, I'm done.
I would shit myself.
I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm done.
No, yeah,
absolutely. Anything.
Yeah.
Anything. Because then are you talking escalation where he got 11 games prior? Would he get more? Would he get a 4 game? I just say this, and I don't think it's going to happen, but if Deshaun Watson gets suspended again, I'm done. I'm done. For anything, really, anything that he gets popped for a PD violation. He took something he wasn't supposed to take. He ate tainted meat from somewhere, and he gets a PD suspension. I'm done. And that is the box, and that is the corner that we have been put in by this whole situation. He is not afforded the benefit of the doubt anymore moving forward, right? And it gets so conflicting with people because there are people that are so Watson, they don't care what he did. There are people that hate Watson for what he did, and they'll never like him and all that. And I think more about the football side of it. And I sit here and I say, all the investment, all the things that you've done for Deshaun Watson, he's here. Your entire franchise rides on him. I can't be having this anymore. I can't. And really, frankly, we're going to move on from this because there's really no point in us banging our head against the wall, not knowing what lawyers are going to say or what this civil case is going to be or if it's going to get paid out. But the fact that this is even swirling, I'm just going to keep a little eye on it. Keep a little eye on it. And that's up to Watson and his people to hopefully get this moved on from. You know, when he first came here, that was what a lot of people had hoped. Just take care of this, man. Take care of this so we can get back to football. And even knowing that football has a lot of questions with it, too, of him getting right for this season. Now, I say all that to say this. I go over to ESPN.com, and they ran through a lot of their NFL insiders. Matt Miller, Dan Graziano, Jeremy Fowler is in this, Mike Clay, Matt Bowen, Seth Walder, Mike Tannenbaum, Field Yates.
Yeah, I was about to say, is my guy Field in there?
Field is in this.
I love Field. I'm a big Field guy.
His mock draft came out the other day.
Big
of course,
Field
Browns
guy.
don't have a first-round pick, so I didn't click on it.
I saw his mock draft. He had 3 quarterbacks in a row. He had Drake May going to the Patriots.
There's a spicy Patriots trade in here. So they went through and they said, first off, pick your okay, let me run through all the things they did this morning. Number 1, your early Super Bowl pick for next year. I've got a Packers over the Bengals from Matt Bowen.
Wow.
I've got Bills over the Rams. I've got Chiefs over the Packers. Chiefs over the Packers again. Lions over the Chargers. Chiefs over the Lions.
Wow, that Chargers is spicy.
Yeah. Do you know who said that one?
No.
Mike Tannenbaum. Mike Tannenbaum had that one. Sadly, though, of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 analysts, 11, not a single one of them had the Browns in the Super Bowl.
That's kind of good, though.
Yeah, I guess. A little chip on the shoulder. So they ran through that. Then they said, next season's MVP, Jordan Love.
Yeah, that's a popular one.
Josh Allen, Justin Herbert, CJ Stroud, Pat Mahomes, Burrow, Stroud, Herbert, Love, Allen. Those are all the votes on that. Breakout team, coach, or player for next season. No Browns on that list. Okay. Anthony Richardson, Jordan Love, Trayvon Walker. The Atlanta Falcons was a breakout team for Seth Walder. And then I want to preface it by saying this. The question posed here was a move you want to see happen this offseason. It's not one that they expect. It's one that they would like to see. And Ryan, this is the hottest, spiciest, bold prediction. I don't say it's a prediction because it's something that Seth Walder wants to see this offseason. I can't believe I'm going to read this. Seth Walder this morning on ESPN, a move he would like to see this offseason, the Browns trade for Justin Fields.
Yes. Okay. I would 1,000% advocate for that.
Seth writes, I know this is a wild one, but if I were the Browns, I would look at Deshaun Watson as mostly a sunk cost and try to upgrade at quarterback. With no first-round pick and so much money already going to Watson's way, this would be tough to do. But if you could get Justin Fields, still on his rookie deal, for a 2 or a 3, I'd like to see him in Kevin Stefanski's offense. The alternative is what we all are conditioned to do, simply hoping that Watson improves, and if not, you waste another year of an extremely talented roster. That is like out of this world, man. That is completely out of this world. But then I got to thinking, you give up a 2 and Greg Newsome for him?
Every 10
I don't know if the Bears would take that. The thing is, Ryan, do you believe the Bears are going to get a first round pick for Justin Fields?
Well, it doesn't seem that way. I was a little bit surprised.
Mocks. We've done mocks that they're in the top 10, getting another pick.
I was a little bit surprised to see most people are talking about a 2 and a 3 combination or a 2 and a player. I would 10 out of 10 send Greg in a second for Justin Fields. Make it work.
Wouldn't that not light things up here? And the problem with that would be Fields still on his rookie deal. But correct me if I'm wrong. Oh, no, we looked this up yesterday, right? You would get him for next year on the rookie deal, then be able to pick up his fifth-year option, and then you're talking extension, then you could talk franchise tag. What if you traded for him at $6 million for his cap hit next year, and you said, you are going to be the backup here, but there's your security for Deshaun Watson.
Please.
Injury, play. Now, this is something that we have to, and again, I want to preface this all by saying that I'm not saying Seth said this is going to happen. This is his move he would like to see, and this is just out of this world if the Browns made a move for Justin Fields. But let's live in that world for just a second. You bring him in, you use it as kind of a red shirt year, even though I don't think he really needs it. It's twofold. You would then put pressure on Watson, which is something that we've discussed with Joe Flacco. You know a crazy thing? Would you not be paying Joe Flacco $6 million for next year?
Yeah.
You wouldn't have to give up the draft pick for him. But that's something to think about. Then you get your goal. Because I think one thing the Browns need to do this year is put a little pressure on Deshaun Watson. And I know that the pressure is there already with the contract and with how he's played. But I think it'd be a disservice to just have Dorian Thompson-Robinson here.
Matt, think about the dichotomy of that, though, right? You have Deshaun Watson here, who was not a fan favorite due to multiple reasons. And then imagine if you did that flip to Justin Fields, a guy with a clean slate who went to Ohio State, has Cleveland ties, would instantly be a fan favorite. That dichotomy would be pretty crazy.
Again, and I will tell you this, that was not the only Justin Fields trade even in this, right? Tannenbaum, Bears trade Justin Fields to the Falcons. Miller, Bears trade Justin Fields to the Steelers. Jeremy Fowler. Oh, I got to get to Fowler's in a second. Mike Clay, the Bears trade Justin Fields to the Falcons. So you had 2 Falcons trades in this thing for Justin Fields, 1 Steeler. Oh, Tannenbaum goes Falcons too. That's 3.
I was harping on that for a while now.
And then Seth Water goes off the rails a little bit there. Browns trade for him. That's crazy. That's lunacy. And I don't even want to put that question out there.
But I already just said, would you not do that, Matt?
I would do it.
In a heartbeat.
I would.
I'd order a jersey. I'd order a jersey in 25 seconds.
It's you are hedging your bet. You are hedging your bet. Now, the problem is, if I gave up that second-round pick, that's a guy I need for a wide receiver. Like, it's not quite that easy. And again, I just feel like the Bears are going to get a 1. I don't know why. I think they're going to hold out for a 1. And whether or not they draft Caleb Williams and they hold on to both of those guys, I don't know. The thing is, and it all comes back to this, this uncertainty at the position is driving us nuts. It's driving us insane. Now, we've had to deal with uncertainty at the Browns quarterback position for decades. This is different than anything ever because you have a guy that you know should be good at playing quarterback. I've had draft picks that have failed. They went and got Jeff Garcia, who cost us Ben Roethlisberger. Don't forget that story. You brought in some veteran. This is the most that you've ever had on a quarterback that's actually done things in the NFL. No quarterback that the Browns have ever brought in here since 1999 anyway has done what Deshaun Watson has done in the NFL. Contract and picks, that all aside. And here I sit here going, I don't know what we're going to do here. And this whole offseason is just going to be neurotic for that. But the Browns, I think they really need to start thinking about hedging their bet here. Because I was also of the mindset of this is Watson or bust. But if that busts, what are you going to do? Who are you going to turn to? You just going to dip back into free agency and go find somebody? You get your draft picks back next year? I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do. And they're sitting over there getting ready for the combine and all that kind of stuff. The Browns at this point have no choice but to be all in on Deshaun Watson. That's how it needs to be framed. That's how they need to be viewed. I think it's different behind closed doors. I really do. Trading for Justin Fields. It's crazy, man.
I would do it in a
It's
heartbeat.
crazy. I would
do it in a
too.
heartbeat.
I would too. And again, it's just, that's a loon thing. It's just, Seth Walder threw that out. You know, the other one that I thought was pretty interesting here in the offseason move that you'd like to see? This came from Jeremy Fowler. The Patriots submarine the Buccaneers and trade for Baker Mayfield.
Ew.
Remember when the Patriots, I know Bill was there, but they were all over Baker. They loved Baker. They wanted him in the draft, and they wanted to trade for him. Remember that? What if they could get him and then draft Marvin Harrison with their pick?
Then that'd be okay. But like
That's what Fowler writes.
But like if you're a team like the Patriots that need a quarterback, like your answer is not Baker Mayfield simply because you have no weapons around him there. Like if
that offense is putrid.
You got to attribute some of it to the fact that he has the most consistent receiver in probably NFL history with Mike Evans last year.
Right. Mike Evans is on this. Moody. I gotta find his first name here. I don't know who that is.
Eric Moody.
Is that who? Eric Moody's right. NFL Red. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers trade Mike Evans to the Jets.
Oh, him and Rodgers would be nasty.
Here's you want all the bold offseason or the moves they'd like to see.
Yeah.
Matt Bowen, L'Jarius Sneed signs with the Eagles. He's all pissed off. Ezra wants his money. I don't blame him. Mike Clay, Bears trade Justin Fields to the Falcons. Jeremy Fowler, Patriots submarine the Buccaneers. They sign Baker Mayfield. Dan Graziano, Chris Jones goes back to the Chiefs. Matt Miller, Bears trade Justin Fields to the Steelers. Eric Moody, Mike Evans signs with the Jets. I'm sorry, not traded, just signs with the Jets. Eric Reed, the Vikings make Justin Jefferson the highest paid non-quarterback in NFL history. That's probably going to happen anyway. Mike Tannenbaum, Bears trade Justin Fields to the Falcons. I don't know who this Theory guy is.
What's his name?
Lindsay Theory. Excuse me, it's a woman. Lindsay Theory. Her pick is Commanders trade up to the Bears from 2-1 and select Caleb Williams. Are we now? Well, okay, so let's go back to Justin Fields. Are we all conditioned now the Bears are taking Caleb Williams? Is that a for sure thing? It seems pretty for sure to me.
It seems pretty for sure.
Seems pretty sure for sure.
I would not if I was the Bears, but
Seth Walder, Browns trade for Justin Fields. Field Yates, Seahawks signed Patrick Queen out of free agents. Good, get him out of Baltimore. Yeah. Baltimore's got a lot of free agents this year. I just wanted to bring that because I just thought it was. I frankly think it's a little fun for Seth Walder. Again, the move, not saying it's gonna happen. It's not even like a prediction. It's the move that he would want to see. And it's the Browns trading for Justin Fields.
I would be over the moon, Matt.
I'd be interested. I'd be really interested. Do you believe with Seth's line there that Watson is mostly a sunk cost at this point? It's hard to not, but it's hard.
But that's the thing though. If in a world he gets us to the Super Bowl, you can't call it a sunk cost.
The problem is the Browns set all this up that Deshaun Watson was going to be here for 10 years, that they'd re-sign him to a deal and keep kicking that money down the road. Now we know how this offseason goes with the restructure of Watson. I think that's going to tell you a little bit about where the Browns stand with him. If they do a giant restructure again and they move that money again, that tells you, yeah, we have no choice but to ride this out with him. And there's the world that maybe Deshaun Watson's best football truly is behind him. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that question. The Browns at this point have to believe that that's not true. I've said this. On the deal, on the money that you gave up, on the picks that you gave up. First off, we start getting our picks back next year. So this is the last draft that you don't have a number one. The other part of it is the money implications, where they have made it work to this point. And you will feel that no matter what. I might be in the minority on this, Ryan. If that world happened where tomorrow the Browns decided that they can't operate with Deshaun Watson anymore and they have to eat the contract and they didn't get any of their picks, I kind of sit there and say, that's okay. Now, Browns fans would be livid, and that's a mistake that you would add to that giant list, and it would go down as one of the worst trades in NFL history. But some already think that at this day anyway.
Matt, do you think there's a possibility a team would ever trade for Deshaun Watson?
Not on that deal.
Right.
Not on that deal.
Yeah.
No. You'd have to attach a first-round pick with it for somebody to pick it up. You'd have to pull a Brock Osweiler. You really would. So the Haslam's have not been shy about cutting checks, but this is stuff that impacts your salary cap, too. But if the Browns really needed to walk away from this, I would understand it. Doesn't mean that it wouldn't hurt. Doesn't mean that you wouldn't feel it in the years to come. I need him to play well. It's so frustrating, man. It's so bad.
John Wick says he's waiting for your son to win the Heisman and title at Michigan and then to be the Browns QB1.
Yeah, right. Ain't going to Michigan now. Now that I don't even know any of the coaches up there. That ain't happening. It's tough, man. This is tough. It's crazy. I read it this morning. Seth Water on a crazy loon thing. Browns trading for Justin Fields.
I'm all for it.
I'd listen to it. All right, let's catch our break because I want to tell everybody about Tipico's. We're getting ready for All-Star Weekend. Chico Borman's going to join us next. Chico is a Seinfeld aficionado. So we got to talk to him about our bracket. I want to get Chico's thoughts on the stadium, where the Cavs are at, Donovan Mitchell. Put all the crazy trades aside. Chico will join us next, folks. Tipico, get signed up. Use that code, Fontana100, when you sign up with Tipico. You deposit and bet $25 on whatever you want. And then you get $100 in bonus bets. We told you about the Flex Parlay, which is going to be our cheat code come March Madness time. You got hockey going on. You got All-Star Weekend going. We're ready to go right here with our friends at Tipico. Get signed up. The cashback rewards is great. I love it. The boosts are a plenty. I love it, man. I love the boosts. They're on Tipico. Get signed up today. Download the app. Go to their website as well. Terms and conditions apply. Please, if you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. But again, code Fontana100 when you sign up at Tipico. Mike tweets, Fields, while that makes perfect sense, there's no way Barry would do it. I don't believe ownership would allow them to acquire any quarterback that would put pressure or serious competition on their starting quarterback. I mean, that's kind of the tough part of all of this.
Yeah, I buy that.
Like, you're so in, but even Deshaun Watson would have to sit there and understand, like, oh, man. You couldn't blame him for doing it, but if I get Mike's point. If that is actually detrimental to Deshaun Watson, then you can't do it. Like, how could it not be detrimental? I need Deshaun Watson to understand, like, dude, what do you want us to do? And here's another crazy thing that sometimes people forget. The Browns are going to be playing football when Deshaun Watson isn't anymore. I don't know when that is, but you're talking about the state of the franchise. Players come and go. And no matter how important they are, no matter what position they play, there's still a future to be talked about here. And I just hoped, and what I thought was the future at the quarterback position, I wouldn't have to deal with it until 2030. Maybe it's sooner than that. That's all I need you, Barry. All right, Chico's joining us next. Stay with us. Fontana Show right here in Big Play. it's getting a little crazy out there. Chico's going to bump back. 9:45 for Chico joining us, our Seinfeld aficionado, amongst other things here at Big Play. Welcome back, Fontana Show. Shout out to Ben Axelrod. I love Ben. Friend of the show. We got to have Ben on again. Maybe next week. I'll text him. He sent it out this morning. Get up. Mike Tannenbaum. He suggested the Browns should trade Deshaun Watson to the Giants for Daniel Jones and a second-round pick. And Ben writes, and I agree with him, if Andrew Berry could do that, he should be put in the Hall of Fame. And then I quote retweeted what Ben had to say, and I said this morning, Seth Walters said we should trade for Justin Fields. Dude, how are we here? And I know the answer to that question.
Yeah.
He didn't play well, and then he got hurt. And the allegations that are coming out are, again, the legal stuff that it just kind of keeps, talking about Seinfeld. Serenity now. Dude, how do we get here, man? This is crazy. Things just can't be easy. And I think the other thing that I go back to what Seth Walter wrote this morning, not even talking about the Watson, or Justin Fields trade, is this. You have a built team. The time is now. And if I'm the Browns, I need to operate that their time is now. And if it came to this season and you put Watson out there and he's healthy and he's still not playing well, and if you got to pull the plug, I know that people would be saying these idiots and all this stuff. I don't even care at that point. I don't care about what egg is on what face or how much they paid or what they gave up. I'm talking about the future of the I'm talking about the state of the franchise. And they got to be all in on Deshaun Watson right now. They don't have a choice. And this, I hope, is just fodder and silly season and all this other kind of stuff that's just getting floated out there. But man. The easiest answer for everything is Deshaun Watson comes back healthy and he proves that he is the guy. Now, Ryan, are you ready to say, and this is maybe how the Browns need to operate, are you ready to unequivocally say that Deshaun Watson is not the guy? Can you say that without any reservation that Deshaun Watson is cooked and he's done and he's not the guy?
No.
So then you can't operate that way.
And nobody can. And if they say that, they're lying to themselves. Because there was evidence last year that he can be that guy still. I'm not saying he's going to be, but you can't unequivocally sit here and say that he's not.
So then that's why you have to give him this season.
Yeah, I
In
totally
a season
agree.
that you have everything lined up, you've got all these players. Now, to Mike Tannenbaum's idea that, you go get Daniel Jones in a second. By the way, I think we'd have to give them a second-round pick because they went on to that Daniel Jones guy. If Andrew Berry could pull that move off, dude, if that slid across his desk, do you think he'd do it?
Just to dump the contract? But what is Daniel Jones guaranteed?
$80 million.
Oh, it's quite the bump down.
By the way, you've already paid a lot of Watson. You paid a lot, and I don't know Daniel Jones cap hits and things like that. But again, Mike Tannenbaum said on Get Up this morning, and he, well, the call for one is going to be a little bit of a hot take artist from time to time. Let's say that a trade slid across Andrew Berry's desk. You got Daniel Jones and a 2 for Deshaun Watson. Would you make that move? Would it be embarrassing to you?
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah.
That's the other factor. Are the Browns so entrenched in this?
But you can't operate that way if you're an NFL franchise.
Dude, NFL egos aplenty there.
Well,
And I'm not saying Andrew Berry has one. And it gets conflicted because about who made the move and who called the shot on this. And I think we can all kind of point at who, whatever. That's fine. But you're talking about where you have to. Some people will look at the move for Deshaun Watson as Andrew Berry's biggest deciding factor on if he's good or not. That is the thing he will graded the harshest on. And to admit that the biggest move of your career, you screwed it up. Now, you and I out there might not believe that this was not all on him, right? That doesn't matter. The rest of the league, think about the box that Andrew Berry got put in. And again, I think the rest of the league might kind of know whatever. But you made one of the biggest moves in NFL history. You handed out the most guaranteed money ever to a quarterback, fully guaranteed contract. That's a big pill to swallow to go, yeah, we messed that up. Screwed that up. And you can't say that for sure. And that's why I think the Browns are going to have to operate that Deshaun Watson's their guy. Until he's not. And at that point, just to flip to the other side. Well, yes, Justin Fields is available this year. And there's all these other things. You got to remember, too, Ryan, there'll be other quarterbacks. It's the same thing I talked about earlier. There's a world. When that is, I don't know. But Deshaun Watson is not going to play quarterback for the Cleveland Browns forever. You'll eventually have to find a replacement. There will be somebody else. I don't know when that is. That guy might be a freshman in high school right now, but whatever. Eventually, that's going to have to happen. I hope it's not my son. He's only 3. Be a long time waiting. I don't know if I want to play quarterback either. But anyway, we'll figure that out. He's built more like a D end. I'd like him to go the Bosa's route.
How old is he?
He's 2.5.
He's built like
3.
a D end.
Dude, so in his classroom, I drop him off every morning. And sometimes I pick him up too. But I go in his classroom. So he's an older toddler in his school, daycare. And bro, the other kids in his class.
Is he a unit?
He doesn't look like he belongs. It's crazy. And I'm a taller guy. So I have 4 brothers.
How tall is your wife?
Steph's like, I think, 5'7". She's not overly tall. I mean, she's average, for
all you
a
need,
girl.
though.
Yeah. But so here's the thing. I have 4 brothers. There's 5 boys in the Fontana household. We are all over 6 feet tall, and we are all around 200 pounds. Like, we're not small guys. My wife's brother, my brother-in-law, he was a 3-year starter at St. Ed's on the offensive line. Same thing, about 6'2", built. So there's some good genes coming through for my son.
Don't they like when you bring him to the doctor, don't they like tell you?
Oh, he's 99 percentile height and weight.
Did they tell you like what their projected height is?
I Googled it one time and they project him to be like 6 foot. I'm like, I mean, again, that's fine, but like, he's trying to bigger than that, man. He's a big kid. So I hope it's not in 21 years or whatever that it takes for my son to get through school and all that kind of stuff, and I don't even play quarterback.
What age will you let him hit the weight room? Because that's a big conversation.
Oh, it's a huge conversation. So my parents said the rule, I didn't start working out.
16 is like the bare minimum.
Well, I started working out between my 8th grade and freshman year of high school.
So it's like 15.
Now, what I started doing was like really light, like machine work. I wasn't bench pressing and that kind of stuff. Then you get to high school, and as long as you're doing it safe and smart, I think that's an important thing too. But I always go back to some stories too about guys that get drafted and they're like, oh, I didn't start playing football till my senior year. There are just people that are just athletic. They are super athletic. He needs to get the speed from my wife. I've got no speed. I can jump. I had that. That's gone. I didn't have either. Long over. Speed was not there. He's going to have to get it from my wife. But anyway, we'll figure that out.
I can't jump over a piece of paper, man.
I used to be able to. It's all gone now, but we'll find that out with my son. There's a future, eventually, the Browns. We got out of that talking about my son who's not even 3. Maybe he'll be the future of the Browns. There's a future. The question is the future now? And I think another overarching question is this. Are you doing a disservice to the franchise by holding on to this? Are you doing a disservice to Myles Garrett and Denzel Ward and David Njoku and all these other guys that are in the prime of their careers that are built ready to go? Are you doing a disservice by putting Deshaun Watson out there? The instant answer, in my opinion, is actually no, right? You've seen a little bit. The thing is, this is always going to be a sliding scale. Right now, we're down, and we feel bad, right? He goes out there in 8 months now, or longer than that, in 10 months now, and in week 4 of the season, he throws for 400 yards and 5 touchdowns. Have that conversation on that Monday, and we're like, all right, we're good. We figured this out. We're going to be neurotic because you don't know for sure. But all this stuff circling in the offseason, all this stuff, I'm just going to be watching some of these Browns moves very intently to see what they do, mostly about the Deshaun Watson money. And at this point, it seems like they are so conditioned they have to restructure him to try to do something. You're at this point. I think we've all been there. You gamble, you go to the casino at all, right?
I do. Well, not often, but
you've been there. Your chips are out there. And you won some, you lost some. And you're at that break-even point where you go, I got 2 options here. And I just push them all into the center on one hand of blackjack or one spin on that roulette wheel. Or do you pull them on back, cut your losses, and you walk away for the evening? That's where the Browns are at right now. That's exactly where they're at. With Deshaun Watson, with the franchise, with everything. We'll see how it goes. Very happy to bring in the one, the only, the Seinfeld aficionado of big play, amongst a lot of other things. We know him, we love him. It is Chico Borman. Chico, happy Friday to you. I mistakenly did not know your level of Seinfeld expertise until yesterday. I feel remiss that we didn't have you on to start the week for our bracket of the best Seinfeld show. Chico, we'll get to that coming up because I want your full take on the episodes that made it, who lost, who didn't. But, man, we start this morning with Watson, and there's a crazy thing from Seth Walder about trading for Justin Fields. Mike Tannenbaum on Get Up said trade him to the Giants for Daniel Jones. Just big picture, Chico, where are you at with Watson, and where do you think the Browns are at with him?
Well, I mean, I think you would probably agree, and many people would agree, that the moves that they made, obviously bringing in, making the changes on the offensive staff, bringing in Ken Dorsey, Kevin Stefanski, I think, is confident as he should be as far as, the offensive play caller and working with Deshaun Watson, but they don't want to leave any stone unturned because you got $230 million guaranteed. And, it's all hinging on this guy. I mean, honestly, it really is. I don't think I'm, saying anything that's too profound there.
Yeah.
Like it's hinging on him. So when you bring up where the Browns are at with them, obviously they're all in. These guys that are saying trading for him, I mean, that sounds good. Or trading for, Justin Fields and trading away Deshaun Watson sounds good, but as well as I do. And I always love these conversations when we talk about trades, whether it be players, whatever sport. People are like, oh, we'll just trade him away to the Giants. Well, okay. Why would the Giants, and this is not a knock on Deshaun Watson. Yes, he was talented, but we don't know if he's back to the 2020 form. He obviously in that Ravens game looked outstanding, the second half perfect, and then he goes down. So there's so many question marks here, but I think if you're the Browns, you don't have a choice. You're all in, and they've made moves. They brought in, Kenny Dorsey. They brought in these other. Kevin Stefanski says, hey, we're gonna do whatever we have to do to get the most out of Deshaun Watson, which is no surprise. Question is, here's my question to you, Matt.
Sure.
We've had this. I'm sure you've talked about it. I know I've talked about it. I don't necessarily doubt that Deshaun Watson is physically capable, but you know where I'm going with this.
I do.
Guys had a lot happen, and I appreciate the fact that these athletes they compartmentalize, and yes, they do, and that's what makes them one of the reasons makes them so special. But is he truly confident? Is he truly okay in his own skin? And you say, well, that doesn't matter when he goes out and plays football. I would disagree. To that degree that we're talking about with him, I would strongly disagree. So, there's a lot of good with the Cleveland Browns. And I think Deshaun Watson, there's a lot of reason for optimism, but there's certainly a lot of reason to be skeptical. And, we've seen it play out here. We've seen everything play out here.
Oh, Lord, we have. Chico. And I'll even tell you, man, it's not even it's $230 million. $230 million. And you were handed this franchise and said, man, this is all on you. And I think you bring up a fantastic point about how sometimes contracts can change players because people think like they got the money that just frees them up. Like, oh, man, okay, so you got all this money and you don't have to worry about anything the rest of your life. Just go out and play. But you got to understand that some of these guys, and especially quarterbacks that can play now for 20 years, it's more not about, okay, I got this money, that's great. How am I going to get the next one? Or, yes, now this all falls on me. This isn't a guard. This isn't Wyatt Teller that got paid, where he plays a cog in the wheel, but he's the quarterback. I mean, Chico, you're so right. It's not even just the off-the-field stuff. It's like, dude, you got a record-setting, breaking deal. And at this point, you're not living up to it. As a human being, you'd go to bed at night going, okay, that's a problem.
Yeah, and that's exactly right. And I think, I'm not necessarily doubting. I think one of the things that we need to take into account, and to his credit, I think his teammates love him. Sure. I think he puts in the work. I've never questioned, like, is Deshaun Watson going to get lazy now that he's got his money? But I think the reality is, okay, he's been out a while. He's been off for a while. And yes, he just started to go, in the right direction. He got him on the field. He just started to find it. Unfortunately, he got hurt. I mean, I don't know he got hurt. It happens. But the reality of the situation is we don't know if he's going to get back to that 2020 form. But like I said, I'm not questioning preparation. I'm not questioning work ethic, but I am questioning the guy. There's so much that goes into being so great at that level and at that position that if you're not 100% like, I'm the guy, I don't care what he says to the media.
Mm-hmm.
Does he really believe that? Can he consistently believe that and perform? And that, that remains to be seen.
Chico Borman joining us, of course. Follow him on Twitter at Big Play Chico. The show, Chico Show, CLE on Twitter. We're up on YouTube, of course, part of our great family here at Big Play. The other thing circling around the Browns, Chico, wanted to get your thoughts on it. I know you've talked about it on your show as well. This stadium move, would you be opposed to it going to Brook Park? Do you think this is a posturing type of move? Seems like we're relinquished to get a dome. Where are you at with the Browns' new facility whenever they get it?
Look, I'll answer your question with a question.
Oh, I love that.
Can you see the Browns playing in Brook? And nothing against the folks at Brook Park.
No, right.
Like, this is the conversation that we're having all across the
I know
the
people
city.
are like, they think like I'm crapping on friends that I have that live in Brook Park, or like that I didn't grow up here and I know and I've driven through Brook Park my entire life. Frankly, went into some of those adult establishments when I was younger. But that's another story for another day. Like, I love Brook Park. This isn't a shot at Brook Park. You're so right. It's like, dude, can they handle an NFL stadium there?
And it's kind of, I mean, look, I know what the Haslams are doing. None of us are naive to the idea that, yeah, they want to get and they want the taxpayers. But, like, if they've got to know, I hope they know, that if they were to make this move, do you realize they're basically saying to hell with everybody on the east side? And I don't want to make this east side, but that's way out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
What are we doing? I mean, we can have conversations about, do they need to get a dome? It's not as simple as it seems, but I'll say this. I do think it's posturing. I do think that when you have that kind of money, of course, you understand this.
Yeah.
When you have that kind of money, Fontana, you are able to just make purchases just to, let's test the water. Let's see the temperature. I can't do that, but the Haslams can, and they do. And I just, again, at the end of the day, sometimes we get real caught up in, oh my gosh, just close your eyes and go, oh yeah, let's go to the Browns game in Brook Park. No, I can't see it. I can't see it.
They'll be playing at Fontana Field at Big Play Stadium in 2028 is that's on the table. I kind of got to go through the names and all that kind of stuff, but that's the plan.
I'm laughing at that. Don't think I'm laughing at that. I think that's a possibility.
Fontana Field, it just flows, right? Fontana Field at Big Play Stadium. It just works.
That is a really good. It rolls off your tongue very well.
It does. It's better than Paycor and Accusure and all those other stadium names that we got going on there. Exactly. Chico Borman joining us. Chico Show CLE on Twitter. All-Star game this weekend, Chico. Excited Donovan is there. We talked a lot of Cavs on the show this week. It just, grades and just the excitement around this team. Chico, how far do you think they can actually go when it comes down to the playoff time?
Good question. And now, full disclosure, I was one of the guys that, and I know I still get a little bit of heat for it, but when they had the awful, and there's no other way around it. I mean, the New York Knicks embarrassed them. I mean, it was ugly. They, physically, everything, mentally, everything. It was bad. But I had a lot of people say, oh my God, you got to trade Jared Allen. Donovan Mitchell's playing golf with Allen Houston. We got to get rid of him. Well, okay. Hang on a sec. JB Bickerstaff. This is one of my favorites because to me, and Fontana, you tell me if I'm missing something here. But one of the arguments with JB when people wanted him canned after that playoff series was, well, he's taken us as far as he can go. But now you need somebody else to take you to the next level. like trying to wrap my head around that. Like, what does that mean? You don't know. Like, this is all, it is not easy to win in the NBA, to win in the NBA postseason. I'm not making excuses for JB. If they have a first round exit and it's, God forbid, anywhere similar to what it was against the Knicks, yeah, you're having those conversations. But I think it's, this is where I think it's a fan base that, like, because you've been dragged through the mud, whether it's the Cavs, whether it's the Browns, whatever, for years, guards, whatever it is, you feel like, well, this process that we are in to get a championship team has to be expedited, or we expect it to be expedited because we have been. And yes, this fan base has been dragged through the mud. It doesn't work that way. The reality is you got to go through all of these, you got to mature. Jared Allen's got to, and man, he's been outstanding this year. He admitted after that postseason last year, I remember I was dumbfounded when I heard it, that, like, yeah, you know what? The bright lights were little, that stage was too big. You never hear athletes say that.
Right.
But it was kind of refreshing. But I think they can. Boston's going to be tough. Milwaukee got better defensively, but I think what they have going right now, and the idea of not adding, maybe you see it, the buyout, whatever, with buyout candidates, but I believed in JB. I believe in Jared Allen and this group. I think that they can. As far as winning a title, like I had somebody the other day say to me, well, okay, if they make it to the second round and they give them, let's say a 6-7 game series, well, it's a process. Now, again, let's see how that series goes, but I think they've got a lot of good here, and I realize Donovan Mitchell is a very real issue. I'm not saying that, for sure he's going to sign a long-term extension, but deal with that when it comes.
I agree with him, man.
We've got a really good product right now. Let's just enjoy it for a little bit.
I agree.
That's all.
JB thing, I think you're right on, Chico, because you were conditioned in the NBA where it started with Mark Jackson and Steve Kerr. Then you pull the plug on Blatt and go to, Ty Lue. You look around the league and all these coaches, and it's shocking to see coaches that win rings that are gone. Monty Williams gone. Nick Nurse gone. I mean, it's just the turnover there is so crazy. So that's why I understood why people were jumping on JB, and even earlier in the year. But I'm with you. I'm a big JB Bickerstaff fan, and I think he's doing a good job, and he certainly has turned it around. Well, as big as I am a JB Bickerstaff fan, it is nowhere near Chico's level of fandom for Seinfeld. I did not know this about you, Chico, but you are the nth degree expert. So
I wouldn't say a fan. Yes, I wouldn't say I'm an expert.
Well, I sound pretty close, at least from the information that I've been given. So here's the thing. We stumbled on this last week. I think we made a reference to a Seinfeld episode. And then Ryan and I got to talking and going, all right, best episode of all time. So we threw the 16 together. I want to read you the 16 episodes and tell me if we missed any. Okay, Group 1 was Festivus, the Chicken Roaster, the Comeback, and Merv Griffin. Group 2, Soup Nazi, the Betrayal, the Race, and then the Ass Man plates with Cosmo Kramer. Group 3, the Contest, Moops, the Package, Chinese Restaurant, and then Group 4, Shrinkage, the Library, Elaine Fakes It, and one of my personal favorites was The Dealership, which we talked about yesterday. Chico, any of that group or any episode that really jumps out that you say that one should have been in the 16?
I like the opposite one. And full disclosure, let me just say, tip of the cap to you for bringing this up.
Thank
you always have these great polls and whatnot. But this one, and the thing that's great about it is, like, we just got done discussing JB, and I'm pretty, staunch in that, okay, if your take was he needed to be fired, you're an idiot. This is one where I'll say this debate's so great, like, because I can't tell somebody they're wrong.
There's a lot of answers, right?
Yeah, there's so many good ones. And, like, even when you're going through that list, as somebody who's watched it so many freaking times, you heard me chuckle, like, you'll bring one up. Oh, yeah. And not only do you forget certain episodes and, like, that's right, The Dealership, you forget like there's 2 or 3 storylines within the episode.
That's why I love Seinfeld. It's like there's always the one part, but then Kramer's off doing something, or George, or it's like always. That's what makes the show so great.
I am so, first of all, the fact that you brought up the dealership.
I love that episode.
I'll say this. I think season 9, like I don't want to, the early Seinfelds were, I mean, you still had to develop the characters, but when you started to get characters, for me, like my favorites, other than the solid 4, listen to me, like I'm breaking this down.
That's why we need you, man. Like you like the good stuff on Seinfeld here.
So like Kruger is one of my all-time favorites.
Right.
Okay. Kruger and Putty.
Yeah.
When you combine them in an episode, it is tough to leave that off the list. The dealership is a classic. I mean, Putty in there, and Jerry walks in and he's trying to make small talk, and he's like, "Oh, Dave, this is kind of a big step up for you." And he's like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "I mean, from Grease Monkey to..."
Might have lost Chico. Might have lost Chico.
No, that's like the worst time to
He's gonna come
lose
back.
it.
He's gonna come right back. I know it. You might have to reconnect. Yeah, Putty's standing there, and he goes, big step up for you. You went from Grease Monkey, Wrench Monkey, and now you're all of a sudden you're selling cars. And he goes, "Do you know any monkey that would be able to fix a injection manifold?" No. Putty is so great because it's just the look on Patrick Warburton's face all the time, where he's like, "What do you mean? What are you trying to do? What do you mean?" Because another episode I was going to the Sponge episode, the one where Elaine wasn't sure if Putty was sponge worthy. That one.
I don't know if I saw that one.
You didn't see that one?
No.
Oh, we got to get Chico about it. So she had the episode where it was like, I think that was like her contraceptive or something like that. And she only, like, I think they either stopped making it or she like ran out. So she only had a few of these things left. And she said, she was like, I need to be selective on when I use these. And she was trying to decide. I think it was Putty.
Which one is Putty?
He looked, Patrick Warburton kind of looks like this. Kind of looks like, what do you mean?
Oh, I think I know now.
Yeah. That's I know him from Ted. You know the movie Ted? He's Mark Wahlberg's buddy at the Enterprise thing.
Yes, okay.
I gotta go lay down on the John for a little bit. That's Patrick Warburton. That's Putty.
Okay.
And he's like always, usually Elaine's off and on boyfriend.
Yes.
He's
a taller guy.
He's tall. Yeah, he's really tall. And to Chico's point, they really like started inserting him more in episodes late. And again, I'm nowhere near the expert. I know maybe 15 episodes. But like he eventually became such a great character because he was a different kind of like funny. He was different in the situations that he could get into and stuff like that. God, I hope we get Chico back.
I know.
Because I want to ask him like
the Final Four.
Well, I gotta get his vote on the Final Four. And then again of the episodes, like I can't, because the other thing, the names that we put up, I don't know if those are actually the names of the show. He said he's trying to get back in. I know. So he said, he texted me, there's too much left to discuss. We got, reconnect if you can. He's going to come back in. I'm texting him right now. Because the other episode that I thought of was, and I don't remember again the name of it. Do you remember when Babu opened the restaurant?
Yes.
And nobody went to it?
Yeah.
Except Jerry?
Yeah.
And then what happened that the cafe, that's it, season 3. And isn't it like that he gets Babu deported eventually somehow? Okay, whatever. Okay, Jerry becomes fascinated with a failing local eclectic restaurant called the Dream Cafe and befriends its Pakistani owner, Babu. It's trying to turn the restaurant into a success. Jerry convinces Babu to change the decor and menu to a Pakistani restaurant. However, the restaurant does no better, and he angrily blames Jerry for the failure. That's right.
Am I wrong, or is that the same episode where like somebody takes a test for
That's
Elaine,
right. George's girlfriend Monica asked him to take an IQ test for education course. Worried about being embarrassed, he asked Elaine to take it.
And then she
the
failed
plan
miserably.
backfires after Jerry suggests she take it at the Dream Cafe where she's distracted by Jerry. Is Chico back? Chico, we're talking about the cafe episode. Because of the episodes we didn't put in, I thought about Man Hands, just because that was just such an iconic one. The one
Drink your beer.
the one where Newman drives all the cans to Michigan in the United States, in the post office van, and they get popped. And they were talking about the cafe one where the restaurant fails and Babu gets deported because of Jerry. Those are the ones that didn't make it. I thought that should have.
Yeah, see, that's what I mean. Like, I think that's where we were at there.
Yeah.
When I was talking about the dealership, and
That's right.
Like, there's so many of those.
That's right. Yeah.
I can't argue with any. Like I said, that's why it's a great debate. It's a fun debate. There are no "you're an idiot" for it. Like, no, I saw some people in the comments like, well, if Merv Griffin's actually one of my favorites, but if somebody leaves them out, that's okay. What I was saying before, I lost connection there, and I apologize. Is like the dealership with Putty, and then anytime like Festivus includes Kruger, but it also, if you go, the thing that makes Festivus so great, other than the idea of you got the pole, is that if you go back to remember the Slicer episode where Kramer sends away he gets a deli slicer, he gets the white coat, so it makes him look like a doctor, and George is like, wait a minute, you got to get a picture, pose as a dermatologist, and Kramer's playing the part. Like, nobody played these parts. P.E. Pennypacker or Dr. Van Nostrand. Well, if you remember, so after he goes to take, that does the visit with Kruger at Festivus, all of a sudden, Kramer walks in, Kruger's there, and Kruger just looks at this. Kruger just looks at me, he's like, Dr. Van Nostrand, and Kramer's just like, that's right. I mean, you can't. It's just unbelievable. It's such a funny show, but I think in the beginning, those seasons were but I can't argue with any of the ones you said. My Festivus is in there, Merv Griffin's in there. I like the opposite one, where George is down on his luck, and he decides he's going to do instead of tuna, he's going to do chicken salad, and he's going to walk up to the lady at the bar, and he's like, "My name's George. I'm unemployed and I live with my parents." "I'm Victoria. Hi." He's like, "What the?" And then don't forget Steinbrenner's in that one too.
Yeah.
That's where the sports guy in me loves it, because, Steinbrenner, played by Larry David, they're vetting George, and he sees him out in the hallway. And again, instead of saying, "Nice to meet you," as Steinbrenner says to him, he's like, "Well, I wish I could say the same. I've watched you tear apart our Yankees for the better part of 20 years, all for the glorification of your massive ego." And Steinbrenner just goes, "Hire this man." I mean, it's so many good ones.
We didn't put Yada Yada in there with Bryan Cranston in that episode. Chico, that one didn't make it either. I didn't even think about that one.
Dr. Tim Watley, the label maker. Remember the label maker?
Susan died. Right, yeah. Oh, man, I forgot about all that. All right.
Remember when they go, what about the party? Was it Watley's party where where Putty's in charge of the stereo? And I think he doesn't want... I forget I forget some of the actual lines, but I remember when Tim Watley says, "David, I got a very important job for you." He's like, "Yeah, what's that, Tim?" Or no, it's Joe Mayo's party. And he's like, "Well, what do you want me to do?" He's like, "I need you to, protect that stereo. I think it is at all costs." And somebody puts a drink on there, and he's like, "Hey, get your drink off the stereo." But he refers to me, he's like, "Yeah, thanks a lot, Joe Mayo. No problem." Like, he calls him his first and last name. Like, "Yeah, you got it, Joe Mayo."
Because we were talking. So when you were gone, I was talking to Ryan about Putty. Was Putty in the Sponges episode, or was that somebody else? Where Elaine only had so many left, and she tried to decide. Was that Putty, or was it somebody else? I couldn't remember.
No, it was somebody else. Remember the sideburns guy?
Oh yeah.
So she's trying to vet who, and she's like, well, are you going to do something with those sideburns? And he's like, yeah. Obviously, he's trying to get in that bedroom. So he's like, oh, absolutely, whatever you need. She's like, takes off the glass. She's like, all right, let's go.
She's trying to use something.
Not Putty. That Putty wasn't in that one.
All right, Chico, what are the final four? Festivus.
What about when Putty, the chip dip?
The chip dip was when George double dips.
When he's at Elaine's, he's eating chip. Oh, we're losing the connect. He's eating the chip dip, and he's like, why you can only eat chip dip as a snack? Why can't you have chip dip for dipped and chip for dinner? And Elaine's just like staring at him like, what? Why am I with this guy? Incredible show. Best show ever made. I don't care what anybody says. But you can argue about the top four all day long.
Well, we got to the top four, Chico. Festivus, Soup Nazi, The Contest, and Shrinkage. If you had to cast your vote of those four, which one would you get?
Okay, so that you're cutting out.
I know. Sorry about that.
You know where I'm at? I started at a Starbucks. I couldn't connect there, and now I'm at a library, and so I immediately thought of Mr. Bookman.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So the library episode, but
okay.
So I apologize for cutting out here. I needed to find somewhere just where I can connect.
All good.
So Festivus, Merv Griffin. I'm going the opposite and the dealership.
I love it. Chico, we appreciate you, man. Chico Show, CLE on Twitter, across all the big play platforms. Enjoy the hell out of the weekend. And I'm just going to be watching, thinking about Seinfeld all weekend, man. I appreciate you, bro.
For the few people that actually thought I had a life and maybe I was cool, you just ruined it. But I'm okay with that.
That's all good. Here we are. Appreciate you, man. There he goes. Chico Borman joining us.
Keep up the great work.
Appreciate you, man. There you go. I think we got the solid final. The Festivus is probably. And a quick update, by the way. Sorry, I didn't mean to throw that. Any quick update on the poll?
Oh yeah, no. Now the contest
has taken a lead now.
29.7, so that's got a 2% lead over Soup Nazi in second. Festivus right there, 26.1, and then Shrinkage, just the one I voted for, Matt, but that's last with 17%.
So vote. We got 48 minutes to go left on that. We got more Browns to get to. Mike Tannenbaum doubling down on his trade. We'll get to all that coming up as well. We got plenty coming up. Big play. Let's catch our break. We'll do the morning update when we return. More Browns, time up, bracket. We got to get to our bets with Tipico for the weekend as well. Stay with us. Big play right here. All right, Ryan's got stories for the morning update. Lot to get to. A historic last night for Caitlin Clark. And Mike Tannenbaum's kind of set the record straight on Twitter about his trade. Potentially. That he'd like to see with Deshaun Watson. We'll get to all that coming up. Morning update, Ryan. Take it away.
Alrighty, Matt. Well, Donovan Mitchell this weekend is going to be pretty busy. Not only is he playing in the All-Star game, but he's also going to compete in the three-point contest, the first Cavalier since Kyrie Irving, I believe, Matt. The people he's going against. You ready? Malik Beasley.
Yes.
Jalen Brunson. Tyrese Halliburton, the hometown hero there. Damian Lillard, the defending champion. Lauri Markkanen, our old friend. Karl Anthony Towns, and Trae Young.
On some books, Donovan Mitchell is the underdog. He's the last pick. So, Damian Lillard is a lot of the favorite. Then Halliburton, then Young, Malik Beasley, Karl Anthony Towns, Jalen Brunson are all close. Some books have Donovan at plus 700. How could you not take him? Based on those odds. I would, absolutely. So, I think the reason is that of that group, he's got one of the lower, Dame Lillard is the only one that has a lower three-point shooting percentage. Now, the difference is, I'm not talking about a guy with a hand in your face in a game. There is a game within the game. You got to manage your clock a little bit. Do they still have the bonus balls? They better, right?
I believe so. Matt, where would be your money rack if you were to play?
I was always good. Now, I'm a horrible basketball player. I'm terrible. I wrestled. I got cut from the 7th grade basketball team. And I got in the car.
You still think about that?
I was crying, and my dad picked me up, and I'll never forget this. And he just looks at me, and he goes, listen, I know you're really sad right now. He goes, but we're going to go get your wrestling shoes tomorrow, and you'll be better off for it. I played rec basketball, and I played, intramural when I got to college and stuff. I'm athletic enough I can play defense. I couldn't dribble around a light post.
Really?
I can't dribble my left hand. I can shoot a little bit, fine. So if I were to shoot off wing, probably to the right.
Okay.
So the right wing. Corners, not so much. And I think straight on is actually harder for some reason.
So that's where I would put mine, actually.
Straight on?
Straight on.
Yeah.
But for those who know me and have played basketball with me, I am a mid-range maestro, Matt. I am absolutely lethal from the mid-range, but as soon as I step beyond that arc, I cannot make a three to save my life.
So the format for tomorrow night, it's changed a lot, but here it is. Players still have 5 racks of 5 balls, but 1 rack of balls is all money balls, meaning they're worth 2 points. I think, and then don't you get to put that rack wherever you want? Yep. Okay. Then, this year's contest features the Starry Range in honor of Starry, what used to be Sierra Mist. It's a designated decal on the floor that they're worth 3 points. And you get 70 seconds to make as many shots as possible. Now, the question is, can I give up on the racks and go right to the 3-point one? Or do you have to finish the racks and then run? So there's a little contest to be had here. Malik Beasley, Jalen Brunson seem to be against some of the favorites on that. So I'm excited for it. Who do we have for the whole week? Are you going to talk more All-Star here coming up?
I can.
Okay, who's in the dunk contest?
The dunk contest? Well, Mac McClung's back in it, of course.
Of course he better be. All right, here, I got odds for that too. You ready?
Yep.
So this is from CBS Sports. Tipico as well. So we Mac McClung is the favorite, minus 190. Jaylen Brown's plus 425. Obi Toppin is 600.
It's Jacob Toppin.
Is it? I thought that was a misprint. Who's Jacob Toppin?
I don't know.
Is that his brother? It's got to be. And Jaime Jaquez Jr.?
He's him.
Who is that?
He's the guy in the Heat. So he played at UCLA, and he was a dog. He's a rookie on the Heat this year.
Okay, all right, okay, fine. I guess you got to go Mac McClung, right? And then I really want to watch Sabrina versus Steph. That's going to be a lot of fun.
That will be a lot of fun.
What if Caitlin Clark showed up for that tomorrow night?
I wonder if she's probably not allowed.
With NIL money, what if she just got some NIL money from Starry?
I don't know, though, because it's an NBA-affiliated event. I'm
Why
not sure if she's allowed. You know how ticky-tacky that gets.
But could you imagine that arena if Caitlin Clark walked out? Again, Sabrina and Steph are going to do a shoot-off, like a three-point contest. What if after what she did last night, which we'll talk about, what if like the lights dim
That'd be sick.
and here comes Caitlin Clark out for the 3-point contest, and it's Steph versus Caitlin versus Sabrina. That'd be a lot of fun. That'd be a lot of fun. Get that to Adam Silver. He's got 24 hours to make that work. We'll see.
Already,
Don't forget tonight, Rising Stars Challenges tonight. Amani Bates is in it from the Cavs. And then we'll get to our All-Star Game picks coming up a little bit later.
Alrighty, well, yes, we've been talking about Caitlin Clark, of course, and yesterday she makes history again. She becomes the all-time leading scorer in D1 NCAA women's hoops, Matt, and she did it in a very Caitlin Clark-esque fashion, pulling up from the logo, nothing but net. She passes Kelsey Plum.
I think it is so impressive to see, obviously, what she has done, but the fact that it's, I think it's so great to see women's basketball ascend the way that it has. And it's been because of stars. It's been because of the women who have been outstanding, amazing players. And then now, you want to know what? Now they transition to the WNBA, and I go, oh, well, I know who that is. I remember watching her play at UConn, or now certainly when Caitlin Clark goes, but you're able to put names with faces. And I think that's what helps build and grow that brand. To see the tickets, to see the people that waited in line just to see her play, it's incredible. And she is so amazing. She's so good. Gonna be the first overall pick. It's growing a game, and it's really awesome, and I love to see it. I really do.
Alrighty, Matt. Well, I think some more good news for you. I got to imagine you were happy to hear this, although it might not be coming soon enough. Rob Manfred said that he will be retiring after 2029.
I don't want to wait till 2029. Rob Manfred is an asshat. He always has been, and he always will be. And I saw some tweets this morning from some people that were so spot on. He was a mouthpiece for some of these owners. He actually doesn't love baseball. He does not care. He's taking shots at Oakland as the A's are on their way out of there. Oh, what are you so worried about? The Giants play right over there. He doesn't get it. He sucks. And I'm upset that I got to deal with him for another 5 years. I do. The pitch clock, good job, fine. The runner on second is still the stupidest thing in baseball. And baseball is in one of the worst spots that it's been in my 34 years on this world. Yeah, I'd rather have the steroid era. I'd rather have some storylines with some of these players. Baseball has become greedy. They have become the fat pig that I frankly think it's time to send them on down the road and they need to go to the slaughterhouse. Something's got to change. Something has got to change with baseball. And the sad part is it's never going to change for the better with Rob Manfred on watch. It's just not going to be. So now I got to put up another 5 years of this crap and hope that he doesn't screw anything else up bad enough that the next commissioner can't fix it. Baseball is dying, and it bothers me. Yeah, my team is not very good right now. I understand that. I'm talking about the sport that a lot of us grew up loving and watching and playing. It's dying. And it's dying on the watch of Rob Manfred, who sucks. Get him out of there.
Well, someone who doesn't suck, Tiger Woods made his return in the Genesis. However,
that shank shot,
a little bit of a shank there. I don't know if you saw the post.
I did,
If you saw the presser, one of the people who asked him a question, he said, Tiger, I'm not going to say the word. And Tiger said, oh, no, I'll say it. I shanked that. But what did you think? I want to get your thoughts because I know you were, of course, excited to see Tiger play in the Genesis.
I was. I sat down with my daughter. I turned it on ESPN Plus to see the balcony of people, waiting to see Tiger. My fear is, and I watched him walk off that first tee because the first tee at Riviera, because, of course, I played there. No, I haven't. It's elevated, so you got to walk down the hill to the tee. Dude, he's still not walking great. The way that I saw him walking. Now, yesterday he dealt with back spasms, which will kind of happen. The problem is, dude, I still don't think that right leg is good. And I see him just kind of walking and favoring it. It's not the shots. Tiger Woods would win another major if he could take a golf cart. And Tiger himself has said he would never do that. Because he could... I'm injured. Who was that guy? Casey something. He was the head coach at Oregon. And he was born with a congenital leg issue. And he sued the PGA Tour and won under the American Disabilities Act that he got to take a golf cart on tour. Because that's not fair. I have a congenital leg problem. And Tiger, I'm sure, could say I'm injured or whatever, but he said I would never do that. I would be selling the game short because it's not just the shots, it's the walk.
Yeah.
And from everything that I've heard, because I talked so much about him, I think winning at Augusta's not an easy walk. It's not. So I was a little concerned to see the swing looks fine. The putter looks fine. Putter looks really good yesterday. I think, is he going to be able to hold up? Because that's what so many times what happened, even at the Masters. He made the cut and he goes, I can't play this weekend.
Yeah, Matt, do you think people undersell how much walking that really is? Because that's 3 days of 18 holes, Matt.
Yeah,
I play 9 and I'm gassed.
And that's the thing. I play 18 with a cart. There is something to be said. Webb Simpson said this a long time ago. He goes, they ask all the pros, what's the difference between the Joe Schmoes on the weekend and us? And he goes, a lot of the people that just play recreation, they do not have golf muscles. And what he's talking about is you don't need to be all jacked up to play golf. Now, some of those guys, Brooks Koepka, and they got, but he's talking about your back and your obliques, and you're just twisting the whole time in the wrench. What was Tiger's downfall? His back. He had to have all those fusions. And he goes, if you're not hitting balls every day or playing golf almost every day, you can't build those muscles. And the joke is, it's funny, a good friend of mine, actually, I'll be in his wedding next weekend. And he's like, dude, we got to do a golf trip. So my good friend, and he got into golf recently. And I've been telling him for years, like, dude, please, because then that's one other person I get to go play golf with. It's great. And he's hooked. As soon as you get that hook on golf, it takes over, right?
Isn't it amazing, Matt, how every single time I manage to golf, I'll play horrible, but I somehow turn into a legend on the last hole.
One shot.
Why? Because somehow it just gets me coming back.
There's one shot that brings you back. There's always one shot or one hole that brings you back. So he goes, dude, we're organizing a golf trip. We're going to do it this year. And I don't know about this year. Again, it's kind of a, conflict year. But he goes, all right, we're going to play 18 on Thursday. We'll play 36 on Friday. And I go, we will all be dead. We will all die. Now, some of those fancy-dancy golf trips that you go on that guys pay tens of thousands of dollars, they'll actually book a masseuse for Saturday because you're so fried from playing golf because you're not used to it. I would die on that trip. I'm a golfer. I love playing golf. Between kids and tearing my arm out last year, I've swung once. Ryan, I'm coming up on a calendar year of only playing golf once and going to the simulator twice. That's never happened in my life.
You got to go to Dave's garage.
I know. They didn't invite me over for some reason. I don't know why. But anyway, so I want to get more into it again, but it's like, yeah, you play once a month. If you're lucky, you go out there, you get done. You're like, my back, my arms, my leg, it all kind of hurts. I'm a little concerned from Tiger from a physical standpoint from that. But we'll see. He's back. I love it. I don't know if I like the logo. I watched intently on his logo.
People aren't big fans of it. I don't mind it.
I think it got worse for me as the day went on staring at it. I don't know. But he's back. That's good for golf. I hope to see him at Augusta in a couple months.
Well, best of luck to Tiger. That's it for our morning update.
All right, we got to dive back into this Brown stuff. Coming up, we're going to get to our trends and our bets for the All-Star game coming up. I have some pretty interesting ones on that, so stay tuned for that. Then we got time up as well. But Mike Tannenbaum, so we started this morning talking Browns. And it was more about, like, Seth Walder had a crazy idea about trading for Justin Fields and all that. Then Mike Tannenbaum, this morning on ESPN, on Get Up, was running through potential trade options across the league. And he brought up a, one for Justin Fields. And I want to find this. So he doubled down on his tweet. So this was from Mike Tannenbaum. 3 proposed trades that we discussed on Get Up. Justin Fields to Pittsburgh for a second-round pick. Brandon Cooks traded for C.J. Mosley. And Deshaun Watson and a second-round pick for Daniel Jones. Now, that makes more sense to me because I thought it was laid out that we would get Jones and a second-round pick. And what did I say? I said, no, I think you got to attach a pick to Deshaun Watson. And I know that Mike Tannenbaum can get very hot takey, and he's in the media now and all that. I would not make that move. I would not do that for Daniel Jones. The question is there starting to be smoke that the Browns are looking to get out of it? I don't want to put so much on that. I really don't. And I can't believe we're here. Like, I can't believe we're in this situation. And I think the best thing for the Browns, and really their only course of action at this point, is this. You got to ride this out with Deshaun Watson, at least for this year. That's what I think. You got the video, Tannenbaum?
Is that
what you're
I
pulling?
can probably get it.
I just saw you pulling it out. I don't mean to throw that on you. I'd love to hear what he had to say on it.
Yeah, you want to listen to it?
Yeah, you got it?
Yeah, I do have it.
All right, 1 second. Ryan, an expert, master.
I'm trading
Here it is.
Deshaun Watson and a second-round pick to the New York Giants
Courtesy
for
of ESPN.
Daniel Jones. And
Get up.
hear me out. If you're the Cleveland Browns, you have Dorian Thompson-Robinson, you have Joe Flacco, and now a 27-year-old Daniel Jones who has 1 year left of guaranteed money for $36 million and an enormous amount of flexibility moving forward. And if you're the Giants, you're getting Deshaun Watson, who's 29, who's making $46 million a year for the next 3 years and a second-round pick. And to me, you need a frontline difference-making quarterback. Because, Bart, right now, if you're the Giants, how in the world do you win the NFC when you have to beat San Francisco, Green Bay, Dallas, Philly, and Detroit?
With Daniel Jones, right.
Yeah, with Daniel Jones. So, to me, Deshaun Watson hasn't played well the last couple of years, but he has a high upside, and he's only 29 years old.
So
Who says no?
Okay. So, Tannenbaum's sake, ESPN Get Up this morning. Appreciate them for that. Then hold on to it. If you're talking about them trading for him because they feel like he could be the guy to take down San Francisco, well, then why can't he stay with the Browns to take down the Chiefs? Like, I was interested to see if he was making that move as a salary dump and as, like, I guess the Giants, you'd have to have some interest in him to try to make it work there. But there's something to be said, too, about the bad deal that your team did. Because if we brought Daniel Jones in here, it's not New York. New York hates him. New York doesn't want him because he's your guy. Deshaun Watson is here. Some out there don't want him here because he's part of, but like, I'm talking about like a new change of scenery, a new quarterback that you're bringing in. And sometimes a little shakeup, that is something that is factored into sometimes these moves. Just a shakeup to get something different, or could you get anything? I don't know, man. I'm not making that move.
No, I don't want Daniel Jones.
I wouldn't.
No, absolutely not.
No. I'd rather ride it out for the year with Watson and then see what happens. Now, you want to talk Justin Fields, that I would listen to. But damn, man, giving up that second round pick when I need a wide receiver, I don't know if I like that.
No, absolutely not.
I'm going to ask you this right now as an unfair question.
Okay.
Do you think we get any legitimate reporting that the Browns have explored a trade for Deshaun Watson at any point this offseason? Do you think we get that?
No.
Okay.
No, I don't. I don't think so. I don't think
Between
the Browns
now and
no,
August.
I don't think the Browns will operate that.
Anything that comes out that they're just even sniffing around.
No, they've given me no signs to point that they're going to orchestrate any way differently than they have once they signed Deshaun Watson. I don't think they're going to entertain that, and I don't think they want. That's certainly not something that they want public, and they know damn well if that's going to get released. I would say absolutely not.
All right, fair enough. All right, let's catch our final break of the morning. We come back. Busy time hop to get to. We'll tell you what happened in history this day and our picks for the All-Star game. We got them locked up with Tipico. We'll tell you about Tipico in this break. We'll wrap things up on your Friday. Stay with us. All right, let's get to it. We got time up. Pretty busy day here on the 16th of February, and we'll get to our All-Star Game selections, Donovan Mitchell, and the finals, Ryan, of our bracket of the week of your favorite Seinfeld episode. We'll get to that coming up. But we start just 1 year ago today. Reports that Kevin Love and the Cleveland Cavaliers would work towards a buyout, effectively ending his career with the Cavs. Now, he hadn't played in the month prior either. You know, they sat him down. He wasn't with the team for a little while. It's just crazy he was the last one standing. Yeah. You know, after years and years of he's going to win those traded and he'll be gone and all that kind of stuff. He's a very important, and I know people get pissed when I say this too. He's a very important player to the Cleveland Cavaliers and their championship. Nor he, nor Kyrie, nor Tristan Thompson deserve their jersey retired. There's only one guy that gets that, and that's LeBron. The rest of those guys can look up at that banner, and they get inducted in the Ring of Fame.
What
that's
about Dellavedova?
Yeah. Yeah. Good day, mate. No, he's not. No. Ring of Honor. That's fine. The Wall of Honor. That's what they have over there at Rock Mortgage Fieldhouse. Kyrie goes. Tristan goes. JR if you want him. Kevin Love. I don't think they get the jersey. They don't. I'm steadfast in that. LeBron gets the jersey, and he's the only one. Everybody else gets the banner that's already up there. All right, sticking with the Cavs. 4 years ago today, Woj bomb that the Cavs and John Beilein have discussed him stepping down during the All-Star break. He would leave 3 days later as the Cavs head coach. Horrible hire, bad idea. There was the connection with Dan Gilbert and all that. I said it when they hired him. I thought it was just out of his wheelhouse. He's a college coach, older, didn't relate to his players at all. The comment that he made, all that, it was just, and they went right to JB after that, and it worked out extremely well. But John Beilein was a bad hire, and they worked out this day 2020. Also this day 2020, NBA All-Star Game. Team LeBron beat Team Giannis 157-155. Kawhi Leonard was named the MVP of that game. Also the All-Star Game in 2014. East beats the West 163-155. Kyrie Irving named the MVP. Remember when that was like the biggest accomplishment of Kyrie's career?
Yeah.
Not with the championship, but maybe still is. I don't know. A revisit, if you will, for the Indians this day, 2010. They re-signed, do you remember Russell the Muscle Branyan?
No.
He was here in the 90s, went out, had his career, came back to the Indians this day, 2010. I remember this day is a big one. This day, 2005, the NHL announced that they were canceling their season after the lockout, and they became the first major United States professional league to lose an entire season due to a labor dispute. They didn't recover for a long time. And I understand that hockey was always fourth fiddle. For the first time, 20 years later, I finally feel like hockey's just now starting to carve their niche. And they're back on ESPN, which is great. You know, you get your Saturday night games, they make their bread in the playoffs, where there is no atmosphere like a hockey playoff game. And I've never been to a playoff game. I've gone to Blue Jackets game, which I'm so excited that they're getting the outdoor game next year. Somebody please tell me when tickets go on sale.
Against Detroit, right?
Yes. March 1st, reportedly. Down there at the shoe. Reflux got to have somebody down there he knows, right? No joke. Oh, yeah. I need 10 tickets. I'll pay for them. I'm not saying for free. I'll pay for them. I would stand in line for those tickets to go. I can't wait for that next year. I'm a big Jackets fan. They just fired their general manager yesterday. They kind of suck, but whatever. But hockey took forever to come back from that. It really did. And I would dare say with the money, they got through COVID. Professional sports went on through COVID. And I know baseball had their, little scare and all that kind of stuff. That'll never happen for football. They'll figure something out. Like, I don't think we'll ever see another season canceled. Again, start late or lockout, sure. But again, hockey went down this day, 2005, when they canceled their season. This day, 2004. Wait a minute. This can't be right. I forgot. Because I said, Ryan, this day 2004, the Rangers traded Alex Rodriguez to the Yankees. And I go, he played for the Yankees? I forgot he did. They got Alfonso Soriano.
You forgot A-Rod played for the Yankees?
I did. I swear to God.
What?
All I think are the Rangers in Seattle. That's how old I am.
What?
I forgot he played for the Yankees. Yankees picked up $97 million of his $179 million deal. I swear to God.
How?
I don't know. I don't know. They're like, that can't be right. He didn't go to the Yankees. By God, he did.
Him and Jeter, baby.
And he was there for a long time.
Yeah. That's the one I remember.
I don't know why I forgot. I don't know why. It just didn't pop in my head for some reason. He'll never get in. He's out, right? Like, he can't even make it anymore, right?
I have no idea.
I don't know if he still... Is he off the ballot?
How would he not get in? Because of PEDs?
Wait a minute. Is he in Cooperstown?
No idea.
I'm sorry. No, I'm reading this. He was included on the ballot in 2022, but he's not in. That gets into a whole sports topic debate about them and whatever. Yeah, I don't know why. I didn't even think about A-Rod for some reason. This day, 1992, I know Magic played for the Lakers because they retired his number this day, 1992. This day, 1923, archaeologists opened the tomb of King Tut. Might be a bad idea. Who knows? Very happy birthday goes out to tennis legend John McEnroe. The bust, Jerome Bettis. Friend of ours in a way, and sometimes does some stuff with us. Tyvis Powell celebrating a birthday today. Valentino Rossi, the doctor, MotoGP champion. The Weeknd, Elizabeth Olsen, and Ice-T all celebrating birthdays
Happy
today.
birthday.
2 movies for you today. I expect you to go 2 for 2 on this one. We start this day, 2018. I'll give you a layup on a Friday. If I said Wakanda Forever, you would say
Black Panther.
that is correct.
Rest in peace, Chadwick
Dude,
Boseman.
you know that is still the most liked tweet in history?
What?
When they announced his passing.
Was it really?
Yeah, the most. I'm pretty sure that's still a thing. Hang on, the most liked tweet in history. It is very unfortunately
Yeah, as of
the
February
passing,
2024,
6.8 million.
likes.
Elon Musk saying he's putting cocaine back in Coca-Cola. Barack Obama at number 3. Greta Thunberg at 4. Joe Biden. The Annie Milonakis one that he deleted was pretty funny. May 30th, 2020. There was a launch of Space Cruise, and he goes, congratulations to the astronauts that left Earth today. Probably a good choice. That, of course, was in the middle of COVID and a lot of social unrest. And then just a bunch of other people I don't know. I don't know who Jungkook is. Assuming a South Korean singer from BTS. I don't know who those are. Whatever. Macaulay Culkin. I remember that. Hey, guys, want to feel old? I'm 40 today. Happy birthday to him back in the day. All right, that is 1 for 1 there on Black Panther, and the other one, this day, 1996. There's many of quotes that I could get from
What
this.
year?
96. You have any guess right away? Did you see it already this morning?
No.
Okay. There's a lot of different ways. There's a million quotes from this movie that I could take. But I would just tell you that a young man gives up the sport he dreamed of playing for a different sport. And it worked out.
Happy Gilmore?
That is correct.
Okay.
I mean, which quote do you go with? It's all in the hips. I'd hit off Frankenstein's fat foot. Saw two big fat naked bikers in woods. How am I supposed to chip with that going? Shooter McGavin is one of the greatest cinematic characters of all time.
Yeah, he is.
And now, Christopher McDonald, he just lives as Shooter McGavin.
Yeah, he
now.
does.
I saw this story that somebody said they were at an airport and they were walking through. They saw Christopher McDonald, who's the actor that played Shooter McGavin. And he walked up to him and he said, oh man, I loved you. And Happy Gilmore, I loved you as Shooter, like whatever. And he kind of blew him off. And the guy said, he goes, I was so in despair for the fact of that he didn't embrace the Shooter McGavin. And then he goes, all of a sudden, Christopher McDonald turns around and gave him the double pistol. And he goes, yeah! He goes, yes!
That's awesome.
Because he goes, he just lives as Shooter. He's like, don't, leave me alone or whatever. He goes, Shooter. That's the best. You see him at golf tournaments, hanging out with Tiger and all that.
Legend.
R.I.P., of course, the great Carl Weathers. Chubbs. What a flick. Happy Gilmore. We should do that around. Well, you haven't seen a lot of those other golf movies. Tin Cup. Great movie. Like The Legend of Bagger Vance. The greatest game ever played. The golf movies that most people think of, Tin Cup and Happy Gilmore, right? That's it. And you got to see Tin Cup. I think it's a pretty good flick there. All right, let's get to it, Ryan. Let's win some of our bets this weekend with Tipico. Use that code Fontana100 when you sign up. Deposit and bet $25 on whatever you want, and they'll get you covered there on Tipico with $100 in bonus bets when you use that code Fontana100 when you sign up and deposit and bet $25. Terms and conditions apply. Gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. So I'm on Tipico right now, Ryan, and I will head over to basketball. Ooh, I forgot about the Volkanovski fight this weekend. There's some good fights this weekend, man. Dude, I might do a little parlay on this. Give me Volk, Whitaker. I don't like Ian Gary because I think Jeff Neal could catch him. I'll stay away from that. Merab against Cejudo. He's washed. And I like Mackenzie Dern in an upset. I do.
Throw that in a boost.
I'm going to. On Tipico. I didn't think about that. I forgot about it. All right, we're into the All-Star game. Here we go. Spread is at 2.5. The over-under is 365.5. Money line minus 140 for the West, plus 120 for the East.
That would mean we need each team to score 183 points.
Can I get you one better on that? Here's some trends for you. Prior to the format shift in 2018, the West had won 7 of the last 10 All-Star games between 2008 and 2017. The West won those 7 games by an average of 11.1 points per game. The average margin for the last 6 All-Star games, when it was the non-conference format, was 8.5. So what they're telling you is take one team by 3 or 4, or even more than the 2.5. The winner would have covered a 2.5-point spread 12 out of the last 13 years. Now, the over has hit 12 out of the last 18 All-Star games, but it is at a monstrous 365. Ryan, that total of 365 under would have hit 8 out of the last 10 years and 6 years in a row.
Wow.
I'm lining up for I feel really strongly of hitting the under for this game. Other game trends, let me see if I can pull them up for you. I had a couple other things to get to as well. All right, All-Star game odds. The one book that I like to look at, they like the Western Conference minus the 3 easy there. All-Star game betting odds for MVP. Giannis 600, LeBron 700, Steph 8, Tatum 9, Anthony Edwards 9. I kind of like a little bit of a dark horse for this because I feel like I think the West is going to win.
How about you throw some money on well then, yeah, if you think the West is going to win,
I think the West are going to win.
But if the East win, you got to imagine a good chance hometown guy Tyrese Halliburton.
Yeah. I look at it from that standpoint. I do. So yeah. So again, it's pretty interesting to see on that. They like LeBron. We talked about the dunk contest, talked about the 3-point contest, all that kind of stuff. So there it is. Again, I really Steph is the favorite in the Sabrina shootout thing there.
I'll take Sabrina all day.
Okay. There's odds on Tipico for the first basket. They'll have to take a look at there. So we'll have to see. I'm just rolling the under, man.
Yeah, I like the
under. I really like the under. Again, if I had to pick,
yeah.
Probably the West.
Yeah,
I probably would pick the West.
I would agree with you, Matt.
Yeah, so sign up with Tipico. Use that code Fontana100. All right, Ryan, let's get to it. The finals.
Yes, Matt, we have a winner. Congratulations to the contest.
There it is.
We all know the fun
that
was the contest.
I'm out, Jerry. I loved our conversation with Chico. It was just so much fun because, like he said, there's no right or wrong answer when it comes to Seinfeld. And there are a lot of people that are more into it than me, you know? So, but again, even as the novice person, you still know a Seinfeld episode here or there, you know? So yeah. I love it. That was a lot of fun. The contest takes it down, which is great stuff. How much are you going to watch this weekend with Donovan? Like, are you like sitting down Saturday night? I got to watch the 3-point contest. The All-Star game obviously is a lot more fun when you have somebody in it. And I think it's different now that we can bet. You know, they always, who's got the best All-Star game or who's that? I think the NBA is fun. Saturday night has lost it for me. The dunk contest does not do it for me. I actually am probably more intrigued this year than I have been in years past for the fact of this Sabrina versus Steph thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the fact that Donovan is in the 3-point contest. So
yeah, I think the most thing I'm looking forward to, and I think a lot of Cavs fans there too probably, is that 3-point contest. I mean, we've been watching Donovan Mitchell religiously, obviously, here in Cleveland, and he's been making threes. I mean, he's with all the confidence pulling up from 35 plus, honestly. And it'll be fun to watch because, like you said, it'll be fun to throw some money with Tipico. I mean, like you said, Donovan Mitchell, not one of the favorites. In fact, one of the least favorites, but that means the better odds. So I know me personally, I already threw a little bit of money on there to watch Donovan Mitchell go ahead and take that 3-point crown.
That is the fun thing, right? When you sit there and like, all right, I'm throw a couple bucks on my hometown guy, sit down and watch it. You know, we'll see. I just need to say this. I hope he takes it easy. That's why I don't even like want to vote for him or bet on him for MVP. I hope he doesn't play all that much. Relax, kind of chill. And there's other players that do that, and they try to incentivize. But you know, LeBron didn't want to play in that second half.
Yeah.
Is the format the same?
I believe
as far as like they're not playing to a
there's no target score.
Okay.
I believe.
All right.
Can I give you a little? When you just mentioned the Guardians and time hop, and it reminded me of a little trivia to end.
I'm all for that to end the week.
Can you tell me who recorded the final out in that 2016 World Series?
For the Guardians?
Yeah.
It was Michael Martinez, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Because he grounded out.
Good pull.
Yeah, they had to ground it because they had to put him in the game, and then they take somebody out, or somebody had a pinch run or something like that. It was Michael Martinez. Because you felt bad when he came to the plate, in the back of your head, you go, all right, we're screwed now.
Yeah.
You know, but yes, it was Michael Martinez that finished it out right there. You know, the All-Star game, I think about, like, there are these iconic, like, going back to the East versus West, I think is better. I like that format. There's something to be said about
I want them to go back to wearing their own jerseys.
Well, I guess if you just made it all like either, road jerseys for everybody, or home jerseys for everybody, I guess that can matter. That is the cool thing in baseball when everybody has their own hat on, or at the home run derby where everybody's got their own jersey on and that kind of stuff. I'm going to watch a little this weekend. I can't say that like I'm super interested.
All right, well, lock in your pick for MVP.
Oh, for the All-Star game?
Yeah.
All right, if I'm going to go West, let me see if I can pull up the whole list of guys again. Sorry. So if I think the West are going to win, I'm talking LeBron, Steph, Anthony Edwards, Durant, Shai. Shai's plus 1,500 on some books. I kind of like Shai. I'll tell you what, I'd put a couple dollars on him, and I'd put a couple dollars on Anthony Edwards. I don't think it's going to be a star. I really don't.
Yeah, I don't either.
I think it's going to be one of these guys that actually want to play. LeBron doesn't want to play more. Steph doesn't want to play in this game. I'd put a little action, plus 900 on some books for Anthony Edwards, plus 1,500 there on Shai. That's where I'd go. What about you?
I'm going to throw a little bit of money, I think, on Jalen Brunson, Matt.
Okay.
If the East can pull out that's going to be my pick.
Again,
for
a guy
East.
that you assume is going to play a lot. Like, they got to play a lot in this game, which I think.
Yeah, and then the West, I kind of do like Steph. I think him and Dame are the fun picks when they go back and forth through the 40-footers. I do really like that Anthony Edwards pick, Matt.
Yeah, All-Star Game MVP I'm going to do right now. Well, on Tipico, too, they also have the player to score the first basket, first points, and they're going to roll out a lot of their stuff for this weekend as well. Going NASCAR? Should I place my bet for the Daytona 500?
Yeah, who you feeling?
I don't know. I did watch the the duels the other day, and the Toyotas look fast. They did. So that'd be Toyota. You'd think Denny Hamlin, he's already won it 3 times. They actually have a boost right now on Tipico. Plus 1,100. They boosted to plus 1,300 for Denny Hamlin.
We got to get your UFC boost up there because I want to bet on that.
You want to bet on it? All right, I'm going to go Volk, Whitaker. I'm staying away from the Jeff Neal, Ian Gary. I'm going to go Devalashi. And then do I put Mackenzie Dern in that? That's already a 668. That's already a pretty big one. I tell you what, we'll send it to him after the show. Maybe they'll throw it up there for a little UFC action this weekend, which is going to be great. All right, don't go anywhere here on Big Play today. We do have Big Play, Big Bets coming up with Nick and with Dave. And then we're off to the weekend, right?
Yep.
That's it for the weekend. So we'll have that geared up. I know they'll have it all covered on that. And we'll talk to everybody on a Monday edition of the show right here on Big Play. We appreciate your support as always. Drop us a follow on Twitter at Matt Fontana Show. We're up on YouTube. We're up on Facebook. We're up on Instagram. And our new venture is over on Twitch as well at Matt Fontana Show. Drop us a follow NFL all over the place, and enjoy the hell out of All-Star Weekend. We'll talk down a Monday edition. For Ryan Tyler, I am Matt Fontana. As always, take it easy.